So today I'm going to discuss Friends TV show. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you guys are fans of the show. If you are someone who's young in his or her 20s and you have probably discovered this show recently and you're watching it on Netflix, Comedy Central, whatever it is.
Half three when I called you up, said I need you now cause I'm losing patience. By four you were knocking on my door. I said love is a two-way road, you don't care no more, am I going crazy?
Hello everyone, this is Cal your pal aka Kalpita Naidu, and today I'm going to discuss why is Friends such a popular show, like why are we obsessed with it. And I'm not just going to discuss the positive points, but there are, yes, some negative points which I may have discovered in the last couple of years more, because earlier it was like it's okay, when I actually started watching it, it was probably fine, but I started having issues with certain things in the show, which we will talk about later. So first, let's discuss why it is popular and relatable, etc. So first point, of course, is the show is about six friends. It's about friendship, and mainly it is about, these 20 something friends who have a lot to deal with, in terms of their career or love life, but at the end they have their friends. Now please tell me that this is very relatable to you as well, because in our 20s we have this really close bond with, say, our college friends, or we just have this group of people, whether it's your college friends, your work friends, whatever it is, but it's more like really close knitted friendships. Okay, and we are a lot more dependent on our friends also in our 20s. Like if something would have happened right now, I would be like over the phone with my bestie discussing it. It can be random phone calls regarding things, or it can be really serious issues about like love life, someone broke my heart, or something related to my career which I want to discuss with my friends. And yeah, that is what, no matter whatever happens, somehow I feel we were a lot dependent on friends. We had someone to fall back on, like our friends were always there for us. So I believe that friendship in 20s is I wouldn't say it's not strong now. Of course we have lesser friends in our 30s. In the 20s it's like we have a lot of friends and we are kind of dependent on them. We cherish their opinions a lot. And yeah, that's what it was. I think that's one of the factors which is so relatable. Everyone can relate to that. Next point which was there was about dysfunctional families. Now mostly, at least in India, we wouldn't say that we had, at least not in the 90s, there were not a lot of divorces or the dysfunctional families which were shown in the show. I think maybe Americans, for example, would relate to that more. Okay, at least openly people were not really talking about things the way it was shown in the show. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, I'm sure in the West there may have been families which, even while growing up in the 90s and all, when the show aired, I'm sure people had dysfunctional families over there. You're not getting along with one of the parent, or parents going through divorce cases, abusive father. Now certain things, of course, I'm sure, even if people over here, they might have dealt with things like getting beaten up by your parents. I know a lot of parents actually found it okay to beat up their kids in the 90s. Divorce rates were not that high, but I'm sure there may be people who did get divorced. I'm sure there were people who got separated, or there were people who stayed in bad marriages, and maybe watching this dysfunctional families in the show kind of how should I say this, gave kind of escapism, because everything was humorous, you know, in the show, and it just probably made things at home seem less unfortunate, you know, by just watching the show. Like, yeah, you know, dysfunctional families are there everywhere. Let me just not feel too bad for myself. Next point is over expectations of parents. Now that is like a universal thing, I feel. But I think while growing up, especially in the 90s, 80s, I'm sure there was a lot of expectations of parents, okay, from their kids, like when it comes to career, like traditional ways of living life. When it comes to career, for example, taking a more traditional route, you know, sticking to a job, not really caring about aspirations and dreams more. I think that time parents would have probably told their kids like unconventional jobs mat karo, you know, choose something conventional, become a doctor, engineer, CA, accountant, whatever, banking ka exam de do, you know. So I'm sure that was very much common, like everywhere. So I'm sure people relate to that. Next point is independence, which the show showed. Okay, at least for me, I don't know, maybe it was fascinating for me to see like a lot of people in America, you know, they lived on their own. After a certain point, they got out, you know, they left their parents' house and decided to be independent. And it's very easy to say that. I mean, at least I don't think so. During that time, it was very much common for people to leave their parents' houses. I'm sure they must have, like, it must be just like now. Now, of course, there are a lot of people who are leaving their houses, trying to be independent. But mostly it is more common now to leave your houses for work, go to different cities, and live on rent, live in PG or whatever accommodations. But yes, for me that was really fascinating to see, because it's not easy. Before I say something further, there was this woman who lived in my building, previous, you know, house where I grew up in. So she was probably, I don't know if she was in her late 30s or 40s. She was the eldest in the house, and she was working at a good company. She was independent. She even brought herself a house in Borivali, if I'm not wrong, and she decided to stay over there alone. Okay, and everyone in our building, you know, was like judging her. Oh, she left her parents, you know, alone, and she's now living there on her own. She doesn't want to get married. She doesn't get along with her parents. I think that was wrong. That, I mean, but maybe during that time it was not very common. People found it unusual, so that's the reason they were judgmental about it. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure even if like there were people who actually thought to do it, they probably didn't do it. But it was like it was nice, motivating to see that, you know, people living on their own. Now that doesn't mean that when you get out of the house, it doesn't mean that everything is gonna be smooth. Okay, they did show that, you know, there were struggles. Even if people think that, oh, by the time you're in your mid 20s, or you know, reaching probably 26, 27, you should be settled in your career, you should have a stable relationship. But that is not true, because you are still struggling at times with your career. Sometimes you quit your job, Sometimes you're fired, sometimes you're not happy, sometimes you don't know what exactly you want to do still, and sometimes you're trying to chase your goals and dreams. You know exactly what you want to do, like Joey, okay. uh, he wanted to be an actor and he was going for auditions, he was doing these small jobs and shoots, but of course you're not really earning a lot, okay, as an actor. So there is definitely struggles to pay rent and stuff like that, job dissatisfaction. Chandler, on the other hand, has a good job, but he is not happy. Okay, he still doesn't know what he wants to do. And of course, personal relationships, you go on dates, you meet some amazing guys, some douchebags. The same, you're looking for love, you're not looking for love, you're just chilling, you don't want to take it seriously. You're trying to understand yourself, what you want, what kind of an individual you are in your 20s. You're still figuring things out. So, of course, it is very much relatable to us that these things did happen in the 20s. Okay, I don't know the people who have started watching it now, like the youngsters. I don't know, but these things we did go through um, in our 20s. Okay, you think that you have figured things out, but the fact is that you haven't. Next point is about the transition. All of them, when they hit 30, they are sad because by the time you hit 30s, you actually think that, I would be married, or I would have kids, or I would be at a certain position, okay, in my career. And none of that happens. And you're like kind of disappointed. Okay, at times you're not. Like, at least I'm happy things didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen. At a certain point I thought that I should be married by 27 and I should have 2 kids. Thank goodness that by the time I was like 29, it all came to me like, no, this is not what I want. I'm so happy, God, thank you for actually, looking out for me, because if I would have got what I thought I wanted, I would be a miserable person. So that was, very much relatable. Like, yeah, we're just kind of constantly disappointed in us. Sometimes it should not be the fact. Like, yeah, the fact is that at times that things don't happen like according to the way society wants it to happen at a certain point. Things should happen this way. No, it's okay, just chill. So I think it kind of gave, like I said, it kind of made us feel happy and not sad about our miserable lives. No, just kidding. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Next point is like about our careers. So like I said, like there are some friends of mine who work for money. That's it. They might be at really good positions, but it's mainly just for having a job and making good money. And of course you have expenses and stuff, so that's it. But that's not really their job, or they still haven't figured out what they want to do in life, like in terms of their career. Okay. And in the show also, like, you have Chandler who doesn't know what he wants to do. He's making good money and stuff like that. He's at boring job, but he still doesn't know what he wants to do, and that happens. Sometimes even in your 30s you don't know. Then there are people like Joey Ross, of course, who loves what he does. Even Phoebe, okay, even though she doesn't have a high profile job, but she likes what she does. Rachel also, first when she was a terrible waitress, she did not really like the job, and she did it for money, and later she discovers about fashion. She enjoys that job. And of course there were these 3 friends who were earning quite well, and then there were these other 3 people who were not earning that well. That thing does come up, okay, even among you friends. Okay, there might be people who are earning really well, there might be people who have taken a house or brought a shiny car, who are doing amazingly well, and you are still struggling. You have a little savings, you cannot afford to go to fancy restaurants, so you avoid meeting up often, or you just say hey, chalo ghar pe milte hain, ya fir let's go for just coffee or something like that. So that thing does come up, okay, when you have like different sets of friends in the group, okay, so you can relate to that, right? Next is definitely the humor. I wouldn't say it's amazing humor, but there is definitely sarcasm, which is the kind of humor I like. There is some lines are really good, okay, I would say, and then there is the characters actually. All the actors, they acted so well, and certain lines, okay, which are just very plain and simple, like Ross's hi. I can't do it properly, but just saying that, simple dialogues, but they made it so much funnier. And of course, there are times when they really act childlike, okay, like a kid, whiny and stupid, but that actually makes us laugh. So, yeah. And there were certain jokes I did not, probably, I don't know if I found offending that time, but over the years I do find that offensive, so I'll come to that negative points also. And yes, to sum it up, it's just something which is like, popcorn entertainment. Like you can just watch it anytime. Even now, like if I can't figure out what I want to watch on Netflix, I just watch that. Even I don't watch TV almost, I would say very rarely I watch it. But if I want to just watch something, I'll watch Comedy Central पे. I don't know अभी आता है कि नहीं friends, but yeah, I can watch that show anytime. Plus the actors were amazing. Okay, guest appearances were amazing. There was definitely good writing, good dialogues. It was fun. At least I won't lie that I won't say that no, Friends was a terrible show. No, I will not say that. I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. But coming to the negative points, yes, there are negative points. My face actually looks like a big egg. I don't know. It's because it's so puffy. Like I have not slept well last night as well. Gosh, I think that is just making it. I don't know. It just, and it doesn't help with my lethargy, due to thyroid. So this month has not been great. I'm very much struggling through it. So anyway, coming to the negative points. Okay, the first point which I noticed, which was completely inappropriate, was the homophobia in the show. I mean, the gay jokes. Okay, Chandler being uncomfortable about his transgender father, and just generally also, he was just so homophobic. Even Joey at sometimes, and Ross, of course, Ross as well. I mean, about his ex-wife who is a lesbian. He constantly makes jokes about her, and he's not comfortable with accepting her new relationship. Then there was a scene when Ben is playing with Barbie dolls, and he says, why is my son playing with Barbie doll or something like that. Again, terrible parenting. But to just say, yes, even when I was growing up or in college also, there were people who made these homophobic jokes. And, anyone who was like, Chandler, I think gets, he is always called out for being not too manly or something like that. That was discussed, even in my college days, if someone was a little feminine, and people would assume that this person is gay. And of course there were other gay jokes or lesbian jokes, and like if two girls are two, that thing in your mind, like how Joey talks about two girls kissing, or Monica and Rachel kissing. That thing is very common even during our college life or in school. People are so fascinated with things like that. These things did happen during at least my school college days. So I think it's not cool, definitely it's not cool, but during that time maybe people were not that open about um, homosexuality, okay, LGBTQ people. Another thing which really bothered me but also made me laugh was the fact about body shaming. Constantly Monica was teased about her weight. Okay, that was not correct, that was not right. But I think people were very insensitive during that time. I have seen that around me also. People automatically, even now, people are very judgmental about a person's weight. Okay, they make jokes about it, or they'll ask you, why are you putting weight? So yeah, body shaming, very much negative point. Certain things which were, I found very stupid was, I don't know, what should I call it, sexism. They are grown-ups, and like in one scene where Rachel and Monica say something about flashing their boobs, okay, if they get their apartment back or something like that, if I'm not wrong. Okay, that was really stupid, I felt. Okay, so I don't know, why were they so excited about it? Why did they actually give up easily? That's what I'm saying. And use their body. I don't know. We didn't do that in front of our friends. One more thing I would say is lack of diversity in this show. Like, it was mainly all white people. Okay, just I think once Ross's two ex-girlfriends were of different race. One was, I think, Black American, and one was Asian American. Well, it was set in New York. So New York has a lot of diversity, and they could have included more characters of different ethnicities, but that's okay. Things are changing now, so I'm happy. Okay, but yeah, they should have. And of course, one more thing which is unrealistic is the apartment they live, the way they wear these fashionable clothes, eat enough food. They're always eating, especially Monica, she's always cooking so much. Their fridge is always stocked. New York is an expensive city. I mean, I'm sure it was not the case in the 90s that much. The standard of living has increased more now. Everything is more expensive, etc., etc. But I'm pretty sure that it's not easy to have such huge houses and have such comfortable lifestyles if you are not having amazing jobs. Like, I don't know how you can afford it. That was a bit unrealistic. And lastly, yes, there were times when I was like, why are they mean to each other? Okay, if my friends were like that, I would have left them long back. Of course, there are times when I need, if I need honesty from my friends, some kind of like this on my head. Definitely my friends will give me that, but then they're nice. They'll tell me in a nice way, okay? They'll not be mean to me about things. So yes, that's what I could think of positives. And some negative points also. So if you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment below and let me know anything you want to add to my points. Like, let me know in the comments below. I'm sorry the lights has changed because it's getting a little darker outside. That's the reason the lighting seems little changed. Please share this video with your friends, and please subscribe if you're liking my channel. my videos. Thank you to all my subscribers. Please ask your family and friends to subscribe as well. And if you want to check out my last video, it's somewhere here. Until next time, it's bye bye from me. Take care.
It was easy.